confirmation of charges hearing in the case of the Prosecutor versus Abdallah, Banda, Abakaer, Nourain and Saleh Mohammed Jerbo Jamus at the International Criminal Court is scheduled to start on Wednesday the 8th of December 2010. The International Criminal Court is the first ever permanent international court with jurisdiction to prosecute individuals responsible for the most serious crimes of international concern: genocide, crimes against humanity and war crimes. It is based in Europe, in the Netherlands, The Hague. The Office of the Prosecutor is currently conducting investigations in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the Central African Republic, Darfur, Sudan, Uganda and Kenya. The Darfur situation was referred to the court by the United Nations Security Council in 2005. In the context of the situation in Darfur, 4 warrants of arrest have been delivered by the International Criminal Court, 2 against Omar al-Bashir, President of Sudan, for alleged crimes that include genocide, 1 against Ahmed Haroun, the current governor of South Kordofan and former Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, and 1 against Ali Kshaib, the alleged commander of the Janjaweed militias. They are all suspected of committing crimes against humanity and war crimes and remain at large. The Chamber issued 3 summons to appear against 3 rebel commanders who may have been involved in the attack against peacekeeping forces in Haskanita in September 2007. First Commander Bah Idris Abu Ghada voluntarily appeared before Pre-Trial Chamber 1 in May 2009. Following the hearings in the Abu Ghada case, the judges declined to confirm the charges against him due to insufficient evidence. On the 15th of June 2010, Pre-Trial Chamber 1 unsealed 2 summonses to appear issued in 2009 against Abdallah, Banda, Abakaer, Nourain and Saleh Mohammed Jerbo Jamus. Both appeared voluntarily before Pre-Trial Chamber 1 on the 17th of June 2010. A summons to appear is an order issued by the pre-trial chamber for a person to appear before the chamber on a specified date. After reviewing the application and evidence or other information submitted by the prosecution, the chamber issues a summons to appear if it is satisfied that there are reasonable grounds to believe that the person has committed a crime within the jurisdiction of the court and that the person is able and willing to appear before the court. The confirmation of charges hearing is a public hearing during which the judges will decide whether or not there is sufficient evidence to believe that Jerbo and Banda might have committed the crimes that the prosecutor has presented before the judges. It is scheduled to start on the 8th of December 2010. The purpose of the hearing is to ensure the fairness of the process by protecting the suspects facing charges from going to trial without substantial grounds and evidence. The confirmation of charges hearing is usually held in the presence of the prosecutor, the suspects and their defense counsel, and the legal representatives of the victims, but the presence of suspects is not a must. In this case, Jerbo and Banda waived their right to be present during confirmation of charges hearing and asked for the authorization of the judges to hold hearings in their absence. We asked Mr. Essafal, senior trial lawyer at the Office of the Prosecutor, which charges Jerbo and Banda are facing.
The 2 suspects, Abdallah Banda Abakaer Nourain and Saleh Mohammed Jerbo Jamus, are charged with 3 crimes, 3 war crimes. These are violence to life, intentionally directing attacks against personnel, vehicles, units, and materials involved in a peacekeeping mission, and pillaging. The prosecution alleges that during the attack, these 2 rebel commanders led their respective groups in attacking the camp, in which 10 African Union peacekeepers were killed, 10 others were seriously injured, 2 of whom later died from their injuries. Also during the attack, these rebel commanders, together with their forces, pillaged the African Union camp. They looted 17 vehicles belonging to the African Union. They also looted arms and ammunition. Not only that, but they also looted personal items such as cash, clothing, computers, food, and what have you. The whole essence of the confirmation hearing process is for the prosecution to to satisfy the judges that there is sufficient evidence to warrant sending this case for trial. During this particular confirmation hearing, the prosecution does not intend to call witnesses. However, it would make an oral presentation. It would also submit written arguments aimed at satisfying the judges that the evidence is sufficient for them to send the case for trial. In general, the evidence can be statements of witnesses. It can be forensic evidence, for example, arms recovered from the attackers. It could be medical records. It could be anything that would contribute to showing that the suspects committed the crimes with which they are charged. In this particular case, we have submitted 595 materials. These include photographs of injured peacekeepers. It includes a videotape of the aftermath of the attack, showing those who were killed, the destruction in the camp, and so forth. It also includes statements of witnesses, including some of whom who participated in the attack, and also statements of African Union peacekeepers who were present in the camp. We have also added statements of family members of individuals who have been killed during the attack, victims for that matter.
Abdallah Banda Abakaer Nourain and Saleh Mohammed Jerbo Jamus are represented by Defence Counsel Karim Khan and Assistant Counsel Andrew J. Burrow.
Yes. We're not going to call any evidence, either documentary evidence, and we're not going to call any witnesses. The prosecution have the burden of proof, and we have accepted that to the lower standard, it's a low standard, this is not a trial, to the low standard the prosecution have established that the charges can be confirmed. All matters are ultimately decided by the judiciary. The prosecution and the defence and the representatives of the victims have their own roles to play, but the masters in the courtroom are the judges, and they will decide what happens. But this is not a real innovation. We are not departing from what has been anticipated in the Rome Statute. The statute allows for the parties to agree certain facts. We've agreed those facts, and the nature of the agreement allows the judges to commit the case for trial without the necessity for a long delay in the hearing. Both Mr. Banda and Mr. Jerbo have a right to attend, and we filed some time ago a document saying that they were willing to waive their rights, in part to help the court. They're very happy to come if the court require them. They've said that repeatedly. They will come if they are asked to come. But because of the problems of Zaghawa interpretation, if they do come, it will mean a delay because people will have to be trained. So for that reason, and given the shortened confirmation hearing that has been proposed, we've told the judges that we are happy and they are happy themselves not to attend, and for the hearing to proceed in their absence, represented by legal counsel. And hopefully that will save the court a lot of money. It will allow the matter to be dealt with more quickly, and it will allow the judicial process to proceed more smoothly all round. And for that reason, we think it had merit, and the judges will decide if they agree with us.
Paulina Masida, the head of the Office of the Public Counsel for Victims, told us that the judges recognised 89 victims who will be represented during the confirmation of charges hearing by legal representatives.
On 29 October 2010, Pre-Trial Chamber 1 issued a decision on participation of victims at the confirmation hearing, which will be held on 8 December, next 8 December. The Chamber authorized 89 individuals to participate, and we can divide these individuals into two categories. 87 are former members of a peacekeeping mission in Haskanita who suffer different kinds of harms, emotional, psychological or physical harms directly from the attack. And then 2 individuals who worked at the time of the attack in Haskanita and who were present during the attack. The Chamber also rules on modalities of participation of legal representatives during the confirmation of a charges hearing. The Chamber ruled on, let's say, the normal modalities of participation, in particular possibility for legal representative of victims to provide the point of view of victims on the issue at stake, including oral and written submissions, and possibility to access the public filing, to be present during hearing. The peculiarity of the confirmation hearing to be held is that recently the defense and the prosecution filed a joint submission to the Chamber, informing the Chamber that they actually agree on the facts as described in the document containing the charges. This means that there is a possibility, if the Chamber will accept this joint submission, that the confirmation of the Chamber will be, of the charges will be very, very short, and we will need to see which decision the Chamber will take in the next days and before the confirmation of the charges. In any case, since the interests of victims are affected by this joint submission, the Chamber has allowed legal representatives to present their views on these specific issues on the joint submission on agreed facts by 12 November 2010.
Pre-trial Chamber 1 consists of 3 judges: Judge Sylvia Stainer, Judge Sanji Mmasanono Monageng, and Judge Kuno Tafusa, the presiding judge. Upon hearing all sides, the judges will render a written decision within 60 days of the final day of the confirmation hearing. The President of the Court, Judge Sang Hyun Song, explained to us possible decisions taken by the judges at the end of the confirmation of charges hearing.
The judges, upon evaluation of the presented evidence, can decide to confirm the charges and proceed to trial, decline to confirm the charges, or suspend the hearing and request the prosecutor to consider providing additional evidence or amending a charge on the grounds that the evidence submitted appears to establish a different crime. At the close of the confirmation hearing, if the judges conclude that there is sufficient evidence to support the charges, the case against Mr. Jerbo and Mr. Banda will proceed to trial.
A trial chamber with new judges would be responsible for trying them. The judges would discuss with the prosecutor, the defence and the legal representatives of the victims all necessary arrangements to facilitate the fair and expeditious conduct of the trial.